Okay, so welcome to tonight's meeting of the Community and Cultural Committee meeting. I declare the meeting open at 6:03. I would like to acknowledge the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of all lands, waters, and sky in the Georges River area. I pay my respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work, and meet on these lands. I don't think there are any apologies for tonight's committee meeting, right? Okay, so we move on to, and I've been advised that there was no request to um, attend via the virtual link. And staff and public are reminded that this meeting is being recorded for minute-taking purposes and is also being broadcast live to the public on Council's website in accordance with Section 5 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice. The recording will be made available on Council's website. The order of business is as shown in the agenda, which has been made available. Staff and public are reminded that this meeting is open. Doors to the meeting room are to be left open unless the meeting moves into a closed, that means confidential session, according to Section 14 of the Code of Meeting Practice. Only if the meeting moves into a closed confidential session will the public broadcasting of the meeting be suspended. Council's Code of Meeting Practice prohibits the electronic recording of meetings without the express permission of Council. Mobile phones must be turned to silent during the meeting. Do any councillors have any interest to declare? No. And I've been informed that there are no speakers registered for tonight's meeting either. So we move on to confirmation of minutes of previous meeting. COM 006-24, confirmation of the minutes of the Community and Cultural Committee meeting held on 12th of Feb 2024. Can I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Lansbury. And can I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Mort. So can I? Okay, so all in favour say aye. Against say no, so I declare carried. So we move on to committee reports. COM 007-24, residence parking permit scheme policy for adoption. Can I have our manager City Life, Margaret Lee, give us an overview of the report? Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, councillors. I'm pleased to be here tonight to speak to this report. Recall, councillors, in December last year, Council adopted, for the purpose of public exhibition, the Georges River Council draft resident parking permit scheme policy for public exhibition. So that public exhibition period was for 60 days. I believe that was Councillor Natalie Mort that put forth that amendment to allow people the time needed over that Christmas and summer period. And following that exhibition period, I'm pleased to report that we did receive 7 submissions, which is attached to this report, but I'll speak to the themes that came out of those 7 submissions. 3 of them were permit holders of the parking permit scheme, and none of the people that put forth the submissions were opposed to the policy. The feedback was around the costs, asking for what were the costs of the parking permits, which was not what the policy was about. The fees and charges will be subject to public exhibition later this year as part of our normal budget process. The other common piece of feedback was queries around establishing approved parking permit areas or amending approved parking permit areas, which the policy already had addressed within the body of the policies. And then the third area was around general traffic and parking matters, which we then forwarded that to the relevant council department to lodge the service request and act on those pieces of feedback that were not about the policy, but was related about traffic or parking in that street. Happy to accept any questions or speak to any parts of the policy or the public exhibition period process in further detail.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to thank the Director of Community and Culture and her team for proactively bringing forward this new policy. Although, as the report mentions, it seeks to formalise the existing framework that are in place, there are a number of really good improvements that the staff have recommended in the policy. Firstly, that a permit is valid for 12 months from the date of issue rather than expiring at the end of the financial year, regardless of when it was purchased, meaning residents get the full value of their permit that they've paid for, which is great. Secondly, the policy now has a provision for community organisations and support workers who provide at-home care to apply for parking permits. Another one's really beneficial. And thirdly, there's a simplified renewal process for existing permit holders, making it easier for residents to reapply. And lastly, hopefully working towards online platforms so residents can apply and renew their permits online in the future. So I commend the staff for introducing these really practical and positive improvements. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Moore, for your insight amendment. So can I have a mover for this motion? Yeah, I'll move that. Thank you, Councillor Moore. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Kandrowski. So is there any other questions and comments on it? If no, can I, all in favor say aye? Aye. Okay, say no, and I declare it's carried. So that's the only item on the agenda. There are no other business on the agenda. So then I declare the meeting closed at 6:11. Thank you.